Welcome to Stress Less Obsessed, the podcast. My name is Sophie Deans, and I'm here to bring you all things on self-care, self-development, as well as lifestyle tips and hacks to keep your life as simple and stress-free as possible. So let's make a start and join me on a journey of living a life with less stress. Hello, lovely listeners. Thank you for joining me today. And I wanted to chat to you about one of the most powerful tools in our mental toolbox, and that is reframing. And so, what do I mean by this? An example would be, say you were faced with a challenge and your immediate response is, I can't do that. Sound familiar? I can't do that, or I'm no good at that. I think we can all say at some point we've said that and we've felt that. But I want to share with you that there's actually a very simple yet transformative way that we can flip the script on that. And that's something that will help us feel better. It's something that will help us do better. And yeah, I'm going to go through all of that today. I think this will be quite a short episode. I know most lately my episodes have been going 30 to 40 minutes, but this one should be more bite-sized for you today. I'm not sure if you prefer the longer episodes or you prefer the shorter ones. If you've got a preference, I'd love to hear it. So please leave it in the comments wherever you're listening to this. All right, so back to mindset. Mindset is so important. I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you've heard of it. And I'm also sure that you've probably heard of the saying, fake it till you make it. Well, that actually works, surprisingly, because when you tell yourself something on repeat all the time, it usually becomes true. So if you're telling yourself, oh, I'm stupid, I can't do that, I'm no good at that, I'm trying to think of some examples here. Maybe, I don't know, parking. I don't know how to park. I'm not very good at parking. I'm not very good at writing. A common one I think I hear a lot. Oh, I'm no good at talking in public. I can't do public speaking. Well, do you know when you're saying this? Because I know it's something we don't think too intently about it. It just kind of flies off the tongue. But you're actually telling yourself, you're telling your brain not to even bother trying to improve at these things, because you're basically a lost cause. This is me. I was born a bad driver. I was born bad at parking. There's nothing that's going to change that. There's no point. You're saying that you don't want to improve. And I know you don't necessarily think that's what you're saying, but that's what's going to be ingrained in your mind. And this is where reframing comes in. Because not only will it change the process, of what you're saying, it will change the outcome, and it'll also change how we feel. Another thing I wanted to point out is, would you say this to a friend if your friend didn't do as well as she'd hoped or he hoped in a presentation? You wouldn't say, oh, you're no good at talking in front of people. Or, if she'd had a knock in her car, you wouldn't be like, yeah, you're rubbish at driving. I mean, I wouldn't to any of my friends. I probably not a very good friend if you do say that. But yeah, or if a friend would say that to you, not a good friend. But if it's ourselves, right, we knock our car and we're like, oh, I'm such a bad driver. Why are we being so mean to ourselves? What have we done to ourselves that we choose to speak to ourselves like that? I honestly, I don't know the answer, but I know that it's not helpful. I know that we're going to feel even more crap, right? We're going to feel not only did we have this not great thing happen to us today, but we're then putting ourselves down, and after that, we'll probably avoid the whole trauma again. We'll avoid anything to do with public speaking or anything to do with, driving in that particular area or parallel parking or something like that. Okay. And so the solution I'm giving you today to help with this and to help with these negative patterns is actually to catch yourself out and to stop yourself when you're thinking something negative like this. And it's not as easy as just flipping a switch and being like, oh, yeah, cool, I've got it. It takes time to start making this a habit. And you've got to obviously catch yourself doing it. So to catch yourself, you'd obviously say something, but then you need to remind yourself and be like, oh, wait, I wouldn't have said that to a friend. I wouldn't talk to a friend like that. How can I reframe this to be more positive? So I'll give you an example. If you didn't feel like you did as well as you'd wanted with literally anything, and your immediate thought would be, oh, I can't do that. I'm not good at that. Yeah, even if it's something, in the past, you didn't do too well at something and you're faced with that opportunity again, and your automatic thought is, I can't do that. I'm no good at that. I'm rubbish at that. You can actually flip that. And I'm not saying you lie to yourself and say, oh, yeah, I'm so good at speaking in front of people, because obviously that's not, you're just lying to yourself. You're not going to believe that. And that's not helpful either. But we want to reframe it to the truth, which is actually, I'm still learning how to do this. I'm still working on this. I know I can improve on this. I will get better at this. Okay? And this is so much more positive. And it's the truth, because you're saying it's possible that I can improve. It's saying last time may have not gone as well as I wanted, but potentially this time the outcome could be better. And a lot of the time, I'm using public speaking quite a lot, but a lot of the time, people, when they open up this mindset and give themselves the opportunity for this potential, they've taken the pressure off from them thinking, this is going to be terrible. I'm so bad. This is never going to work out. It puts pressure on you and you don't do well. But if you kind of take the pressure off and just go, I know I'm not the best public speaker in the world. I'm still learning. I'm still improving. So, this could go better. It might not. I know that. But I'm not putting the pressure on it to say this is going to be a horrible experience, because you honestly just don't know. And labeling yourself as someone with a static characteristic, that's something that is never going to change. That's really untrue. I mean, it might not change if you don't do anything about it. Certainly, if you avoid certain situations, then you probably won't improve. Okay. So yeah, I feel like this can be really stressful when you've labeled yourself as bad at something. And then you're going to avoid that situation, and then you're never going to improve, and you've always got like this thing hanging over your head. And so taking the pressure off, changing your mindset can change how you feel. It can change the outcome, and you're giving yourself hope. You're saying, I can work on this. It's possible. The outcome is not set in stone. And, if you're worried of failing at something in front of people, I know a lot of people can dampen themselves down in front of others. They're worried of, bigging themselves up and then failing and looking silly. Have you done that? I mean, I can tell you, I can think of a time where I have. I remember I did archery once in, I think it was the first year of secondary school. And I was terrible at it. I couldn't even, the arrow, I don't even think got to the other side of the room, let alone on the target. So therefore, I label myself as really bad at archery. I'm never going to do archery again because I know I am rubbish. And then it would have been 5 years back, probably. It was somebody's birthday. They arranged an activity for archery. And I'm pretty sure I was setting the expectation with everyone, saying, oh, I have done it once before, but I wasn't very good. So we'll see how I go this time. And I remember that I really wanted to tell everyone that I was rubbish. And I was like one of the best ones there. And I feel like just having that mindset just to say, like, not saying flat out to everyone, I'm going to be so bad at this, I'm terrible, and just being like, I wasn't very good then, but, we'll see what happens this time, allowed me to let the possibilities in. And I was actually okay, and I was really proud of myself. So now I probably think I'm really good at archery and I'll try and do it again and probably fail miserably. But no, it's just to say, you don't have to say, oh yeah, I'm amazing at this when you're not. So another example would be, if you're having a party and you don't think you're the best person at organising them, you wouldn't go around saying, oh yeah, I'm so amazing at organising parties. This is going to be the best party you've ever seen. If you're really worried about how it's going to turn out, because maybe you have no clue about what it takes to organise a good party. There's no need to lie. You can just set the standard by saying, oh, I'm still working on perfecting my party organisation. Or, I'm in the process of becoming, a party planner queen or whatever. You don't have to lie. If you haven't had success in the past, you don't have to pretend. But just be open and just say you're in the process to getting better. And notice how much more positive energy this gives out. It doesn't put you down. Which can make other people feel uncomfortable as well. So if you say, oh, I'm really bad at this, some people feel like they have to be like, oh, no, you're really good. And it's just like, if something hasn't gone well, you don't even want that kind of energy. I know people try and make you feel better, but it's just such better energy to be like, oh, I'm still working on this. It didn't go as well as I thought it would, but there's always next time. It's just such a better energy for everyone. And it acknowledges your journey. So a reminder, newsflash, none of us are perfect, by the way. So I was going to say it acknowledges your journey to perfecting, but we're never perfect. It's actually just a journey to progress. We can always improve, always. So yeah, the way we frame our thoughts has a real profound impact on our actions and our beliefs. And ultimately, it shapes our lives, quite honestly, by shifting our perspective from one of limitation to one of growth. We open ourselves up to a whole new world of possibilities. As always, I have an example for you, a personal example. Just had a sip of my matcha. A personal example for you. I've always thought about starting a podcast. Well, ever since they come about anyway. But I didn't for a long time. And if you want to know why, it's because I wasn't very good at public speaking or being recorded and speaking, like on camera, on video, all that stuff. Did you hear that? I wasn't very good. So if anyone, for any reason, wanted to record me, like the company I used to work for, their marketing team would always come around and be like, can someone be recorded for the video? You just have to say this. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I literally cannot speak on camera. I am terrible. I'll let you into a secret as well. I did try one time because we literally had to. And oh my gosh, I saw it back and I was terrible. I hope you're catching all these terms that I was telling myself. I was terrible. Okay. Since then, I have obviously shifted my mindset. And I think what changed was me listening to other podcasts actually and hearing how other people started when they started their podcast. And I've heard a few podcasters say, oh my gosh, if you go back and listen to the first episode of this podcast, you will hear it was awful. And them just saying, like, it takes time. And I remember thinking, oh, so these people are really good speakers. So they weren't just born good speakers? Like, duh, no one could speak when they were born. And then I'm thinking, so these people had to grow and they learnt and they improved. And the more they recorded, the better they became. And that really, really inspired me. And it still does now. Because I know I am no Oprah, however you say her name. But in the very short time I've had this podcast, this is episode number 30 now. And not only have I got that, but there's about a similar amount of meditations as well. And every time I record an episode and I go back and edit it, I can hear my progress and I can feel it as I'm recording. And so if I hadn't changed my mindset from I'm rubbish talking in front of people or in public or being recorded, if I hadn't have changed that to, okay, I don't think I'm great right now, but I know I'm still learning, I'm still improving, I'm progressing. This podcast may not be here. And something I'm almost close to celebrating is that I have almost 1,000 downloads, you guys. So imagine if I hadn't started, I wouldn't even know that, and I'd still be telling myself, I'm rubbish. I'm no good at that. I really want to do a podcast, but I'm rubbish. We all have to start somewhere. So whatever it is, change your mindset. Celebrate your wins. Because if you don't start and you take yourself out of the game, how are you ever going to improve at that thing that you think you're not good at? Anyway, like I mentioned, we're not quite at the 1,000 downloads yet. Very, very close. And I will be celebrating when we get there. But yeah, this small change can have such an impact on your life. And I can tell you now, I'm so much happier and more fulfilled in every aspect of my life. So if you can apply this, it can help with any stressful situation, really. Just thinking, I'm working on getting through this challenging time. I'm working on moving through this rather than I can't take this, I can't do anymore. I mean, obviously, if it's something where you are feeling at breaking point, you need to seek support as well. Of course, I'm not saying don't do that, just lie to yourself, I can get through this. But just knowing and not ruling yourself out of situations that are more challenging than you'd hoped. All right, so you probably get it by now. I think I've given enough examples. So let me just take you through why this works. Firstly, you're embracing growth. And when we say I can't, we're essentially closing that door. Closing the door on potential growth. And it's like putting up a big flashing neon sign that says, sorry, no room for improvement here. But guess what? That is just further from the truth than you can think of, because by acknowledging that we're still learning, we're inviting growth and we're inviting progress into our lives. And suddenly, these obstacles become opportunities, right? And these challenges become chances to expand our skills and our knowledge. So I just want you to think about that. The second one is you're cultivating resilience. All right, no life is full of sunshine and roses every single day. It's full of up and downs, twists and turns, guaranteed. And let's face it, sometimes we feel like we're constantly swimming against the tide. So by building resilience, which is, it's about when you fall down, getting back up again every time. Sometimes it's hard, but it's all to do with your mindset and continuous learning and taking steps forward when you've had step backs will just get you onto that path of success. So you don't view failure as a dead end. You see it, what can I take from this? And then move forward. The last one is fostering self-compassion, which is so important. And that's what I was saying earlier about we speak to ourselves really, really badly for some unknown reason. And it's so easy to beat ourselves up from our shortcomings or our mistakes. But let's talk to ourselves like we would a friend, have some self-compassion and understanding, and give ourselves permission to be imperfect, because nobody is perfect. Even if they seem to be perfect, they're still probably talking to themselves in this way too, thinking, I could have done better. So we need to really show ourselves some more compassion and recognize that we're all growing. There is no destination when we go, oh yeah, I've made it now. And if you have and you've got there, you're probably very bored. Life is all about growing and learning more. And it's absolutely fine to stumble along the way. All right, well, just to summarize how we can start incorporating this whole mindset shift into our daily lives. And it's really simple. The next time you catch yourself saying, I can't, just pause and reframe it. Have a think. Is it I can't, or I can't right now, but I'm still learning? If it's maybe tackling a new skill, navigating a new challenge or situation, try and reframe it and face that day with a positive attitude. Remember that it's an experience to grow. It didn't go as well as I hoped right now. I'm still learning. And hey, if you know someone that seems to be in quite a negative frame of mind like this, you hear them saying, I can't do that a lot. Maybe they're lacking confidence, or they just need a nudge to start looking a bit more positively. Share this episode with them. All right, maybe that will really help them out. They could maybe do a little mindset makeover, and that might help them feel more positively and grow. Okay, so here's to reframing our mindset and unlocking all of the possibilities that lie ahead, because they truly are endless. And you are not limited by what you can't do today or what you weren't able to succeed in today, but just be empowered by what you're still learning to do. All right, well, thanks so much for listening. Keep growing, keep learning, and keep reframing. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Stress Less Obsessed. And thanks for listening. Until next time, breathe and stress less.